David, you're right, it is complex. And I want to preface this by saying that on the whole, the protest, I was at the Melbourne protest yesterday covering it. They were on the whole very peaceful. But a couple of things that concerned me that I witnessed yesterday, there were antagonists within the crowd. There's so much hostility towards the media. I was verbally abused by several men yesterday, told that I'm lucky to be a journalist in Australia, not in Gaza. I mean, thousands were chanting through the city. Our leaders nowhere to be seen. One lady was banging on the window of a cafe, chanting and saying horrible things to people nearby. I saw little kids coming out of the theatre. They were scared by what they were seeing as well. But it was Anthony Albanese that they were targeting their anger towards, despite Palestinian recognition. My concern is, where does this leave us now? Because it feels like there's more division.
Yeah, and this hate, I fear, is being imported into Australia. This is a conflict that should stay in the Middle East. It should be resolved in the Middle East, and I hope that it's resolved quickly. But we don't want that hate perpetrated on the streets of our capital cities, nor, I think, should we forget about the hate that has been perpetrated on the Jewish community going to worship at their place of worship, a synagogue, that they don't feel safe, that we've seen fire bombings. That's not the Australia that I grew up in, and that's not the Australia I want to leave behind. I don't think it matters what your religion is. You should be able to go and worship that with peace and safety. And when you've lost control of the streets, it's because of the leadership of this country has been lacking. After the 7th of October, we saw hate permeate out of the mouths of imams on the steps of the Sydney Opera House. The Prime Minister didn't announce that. He didn't set the tone immediately about what the expectation is in this country. You can worship a faith in this country, and you can do it peacefully. And the Prime Minister has let this get away, and he's destroyed our relationship with Israel and wrecked the United States relationship, which puts us at broader risk around AUKUS and trade, all because of a lack of leadership. Now, I think we need to understand that there needs to be strong leadership, and that people out there that want to go and protest, they can do it, but if they don't do it peacefully, there's got to be a consequence for them in not doing that. And so this is where the Prime Minister missed the opportunity, and it's gotten away from him, and unfortunately it's set the tone in this nation to a level that I don't think I've seen in my life.
David, just on the US relationship there that you mentioned, of course Richard Marles is heading over to the US. What are you hoping to see there?
Well, obviously we hope that the Deputy Prime Minister can forge our interests. The Prime Minister can't get a meeting with President Trump, and I think the Deputy Prime Minister is going to push our case around AUKUS. It's important. AUKUS is not just about submarines, it's a strategic partnership. When we're relying on Virgin pilots to identify warships in waters off Australia doing live fire exercises, something's not right. We don't have the capacity ourselves. We need to increase our investment in our defence, but we need the strategic partnerships that will back us in our hour of need and send strong strategic messages to any strategic threat that we can defend ourselves, and we'll have allies on our shoulder that will help us. And that's been a diplomatic failure by Anthony Albanese. I mean, if you remember back, hark your mind back to Macron having a go at Prime Minister Albanese and his attack on Scott Morrison's diplomatic endeavours. Well, I don't think the Prime Minister has covered himself in glory either between Israel or the United States since the election. And it's important that there's some leadership there, because this strategic partnership is so important to our nation's future and our security.
Mm-hmm. Okay, David, we've run out of time, but just some quick thoughts, just one line if you can. Labor's move to fast-track this deposit scheme?
Oh, well, look, it's an election promise, but it's not addressing the issue, which is supply. You need to increase supply, and we need state and local governments to unlock that supply, but federal governments to have proper migration policies, an immigration policy that works for Australia, the right number of people, but the right skills, not prioritising dog groomers and martial arts instructors, but maybe some chippies, some plumbers and electricians might help us build that supply by bringing some of those skills in. That's just common sense. At the moment, they're tinkering at the edges.